see it a little differently though. I think that if you are somebody who does get a little lonelier around winter, then yes, you would have to prepare for that, right? But as a single woman myself, I never see it as having to prepare because all year long, I am building and nurturing relationships. I have goals, I have dreams. I spend a lot of time with myself, reflecting, praying, learning. My life feels enriched. Would I love to have someone nice um, to spend winter with? Of course. But I don't want someone just to spend winter with. I would rather have someone to spend a lifetime with. So I don't let those things make me feel pressure to get into a relationship that is not going anywhere or that may not be good for me or one that I really don't want, you know. So I don't really see it as preparing for winter, not for me. Now, some people, they may struggle with winter. You have the holidays coming around, they may have to prepare. And I don't think that it's something to poke fun of, right? But I wanted to just make sure that women also realize that there are so many other parts of our lives that make us who we are, you know, and God designed us that way. I know a lot of people who like to pick parts of the Bible to prove their points will say, well, God made you for a man. Well, God first made us for Him and in His likeness and in His image. And we are to glorify Him in all that we do, whether we're married or not, right? So I find a lot of value in my life in all aspects. And I think that for me, I don't feel like I need to prepare for winter. I'm actually excited about winter because I love the cool weather. I love it. I mean, not super cold, but I'm a fall girl. I love the fall, and I can cut off this air conditioner. I love it. So I don't necessarily see it in that way. But for women who do feel like, okay, this is a challenging time of the year, they may have to prepare. So what are some things you all would suggest for those women?
You know what? I'll say that I do. I think there's some power in just not taking it so seriously. Like, have fun, enjoy your life. And I think in all things, you have to have balance because I'll even say early, straight out of college, in my career, I saw a lot of very successful, beautiful, brilliant Black women, and they were not happy. And so, and I think you can be fabulously single, you can do it, and you can create the life you want. You can manifest it, you can have it. Um, but I think that you also have to make room in your life for what you want. And you can be on your grind. And if you want to be single and focus on yourself, and I think you have to heal those broken pieces of yourself so you can attract the right energy, the right partner, you should do that. There are times when you should not be dating because you've got some toxic ways and you're attracting toxic men, and you should chill. But I also think that it can be light and you can just have fun, and there should be room in your life for balance in that fun. I've never been a dater. I hate it. I don't date. I never dated. Of course, I'm married. That would be wrong. But I was never a dater. It was like a problem for my friends. They're like, why don't you date? Because when I would just have fun. And when it was time to settle down. So, but I think you do have to be careful, because what you don't want to do is be so focused on your career and so focused on the grind that you wake up one day and I actually had an older mentor tell me that when I was 21. They were like, I'm glad you recognize the balance now, and so that you can work on balancing your career and make room for even allowing the person into your life when you're ready, because there may not be room for them because you've not given it any attention.
I agree. I I think that a lot of men have a hard time hearing this perspective because when they say, "Oh, I'm fine. I focus on myself and I'm enjoying life and I'm focused on my career and I have other relationships," they hear is, "Oh, I don't so you don't need a man." But I want to be clear that that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is like what Shayna specifically is saying, you can focus on these other aspects of your life, but still be available. Okay. If that's what you want, if you want a relationship, you want to be married, still make yourself available, be open. If you're in a place where you are healed from whatever you've gone through in the past and you can open your heart to someone else, be available. Go on dates if you're interested.
Yeah.
But oh, you wanted to say something?
Just
Shannon?
one really quick thing. What you just said, Ashley, was actually the turning point for one of the turning points after doing my self work that allowed my husband into my life.
Mm-hmm.
I was pushed by my married friends to actually be available in a way that I had never been. I was very laissez-faire. They were like, "Can you go on this date for the love of God, please?" And I took a high school friend on a date. I treated him, after pursuing me for 10 years. I said, "I'll take you. It's your birthday. I'll treat you for drinks." And that was it.
Mm-hmm.
So you just said a word.
Yes, be available. So it's not be so laser focused on everything else that you're not open. It's just be patient. That's the message that I want to send to women. And hopefully men get it too. And honestly, if you think about it, if you're a man and you're ready for a wife, you will likely, want a wife that is whole in and of herself, a woman who has other healthy relationships, a woman who is not so clingy and not so dependent on all of your attention. She can, okay, being on her own. Where's that sound again? I noticed on other YouTube videos that happens. It sounds like a vacuum cleaner. I don't know. Do you guys hear it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know where that is coming from. But you want a woman that is whole, and she spent some time with herself. She's grown, she's reflected. And so when we say, okay, it's okay that winter is coming and you're by yourself, it's not saying, oh, you don't need a man. It's just saying you're at peace with who you are, where you are in your life, and you can also position yourself to potentially meet, the man of your dreams or the man of the love of your life.
Yeah, like we've had this conversation before about like the way I feel about it is I just don't feel like you can. I don't feel like it's a good idea to make that. I mean, people want relationships, right? People may want a life partner, they want children, like all of these things. It's fine to want it. I'm not saying, it's something wrong with people who want it, you shouldn't want it, whatever. But like I said before, I think that trying to plan for those things in a certain way is what can end up being detrimental to you, because then you feel like, oh, I didn't have a kid by this age, or I'm not married by this, or I didn't do, and it kind of consumes you. And to a certain extent, like I say, it's something that you really don't have as much control over as you would want to, because like you are dependent on this other person that you may or may not ever meet, or whatever it is. I just think that it's important to be adaptable. You know what I mean? Like, don't have this one single little idea of when it comes to that type of thing, or what you think that you want or what you're gonna get. Just be more open and be more adaptable to living your life. You only get one of them, right? And you don't want to spend it being miserable because this didn't happen in this time, or this wasn't like that. Like life, a whole lot of stuff happen in life, and I just think the way you adapt to it and the way you find your happiness and the things that you value, you know, that's what you need to worry about, instead of having this like, oh, I'm so unhappy because I don't have a partner to be in a relationship with. Okay, you know, some people don't have legs. I mean, I don't know. Like, you just gotta, you know, appreciate, you know, your health. Appreciate if you are able to be self-sufficient. Appreciate all of these things that you have going on, and stop focusing on what you feel like you don't have, or what other people telling you supposed to have, or and especially us women, stop letting our value be tied to whether or not we chosen by a man. Like, just work on that. I feel like if you work on that part, then everything else will fall in place. Whether you get the relationship, you get the marriage, you get whatever. If you work on dealing with that feeling that you have to be validated by somebody else, then I think you'll be good in the long run once you handle that part, regardless to how it turns out.